Bam, we're live. All right, let's get the screen share going. Welcome. Get started in a minute. Hello, welcome. Happy, yeah. So let's talk about some remodeling. If you guys have something, let me know if you're new, where you're from. Welcome. Steve, hello. All right. If you want to tell me where you're from, you got any questions about remodeling? Otherwise, I'll talk for a few minutes about turning and getting recommendations, not referrals, and the difference. All right, so let's get into it. I'll talk for about 12 minutes and then we'll have a discussion. So, a lot of guys always talk about referrals, right? Got to have referrals, all the referrals I can get. We figured out over time really what you want is the homeowner to recommend you, not refer you. Referral feels like there's a catch. There's like something, they've been enticed to refer you. Whereas recommendation, that is like the homeowner, your friends would be stupid if they didn't do it. So let's talk about that. We talked the other night about people haven't becoming your advocates. Hey guys, welcome. If you're new here, just let me know what part of the country you're from, and we'll go from there. Just gonna, hello, welcome. All right. So, what are your clients saying about you when you're not around? Are they bragging and saying you have to call this person, or are they saying you should call this person, or here he's going to give me some money if you call me, right? That's what a referral feels like. A recommendation is like you'd be stupid to not call our friend. And over the years, we've been able to get that way to where clients want to recommend us. All right. And it's the difference between you should to you have to. That's how you win over the client. You want them telling their friends, you have to call Mike and his company. And it still happens when you do this well, you will have clients referring you new business for years, especially your clients that are connectors, people that have certain memberships at certain facilities and gyms, and they're in community involvement. They will love every time somebody comes to their house and sees how nice their kitchen is. They're like, oh, your kitchen's beautiful. Thanks. You know who did that for us? Our good friend. You should talk to them. They are amazing. Like that's just how it starts happening over and over and over again. Hey guys, welcome. If you're new, let me know where you're from. All right. So you got to ask yourself, with the clients, where are you with their journey? How well have you been becoming good friends with them? Uh, are you building your recommendation level? Okay, throughout the process. So remember this: in the very beginning, you have to be always let the client know that you're there to help. Okay, are you helpful or are you being transactional? There's a difference, and clients can feel it. You want to be a problem solver. You want to help. You want them to ask you if they can hire you instead of saying, are you hiring me? There's a difference. You want them to feel like they're seen and you understand their issues. Okay? So as you go through your proposal process, you want the client coming to you saying, when can you get started? Like, we have to get this problem solved. Okay, as opposed to you pushing them for the start date. And there's a subtle ways that you do this. Once the project's getting started, you're reminding them, hey guys, welcome. If you're new, please let me know what part of the country you're from. Let me see, is there any new? You want to let your clients know that they should be expecting a smooth process from you. However, it's going to be emotional for them, right? And you want your team to always be helpful with the client, letting the client know what you've done for them, but informing them of the type of construction that you're doing, just educating them throughout the process. Okay. You educate the client on how to do a proper walkthrough, right? You teach them about all the things that were installed, why you installed it the way that you did, how that they can do good maintenance. I'm not saying they will, but you educate them as opposed to telling them to critique everything. Okay. And then you get up to the end of the project and the follow through, and you throw the big party at the end, right? And all of this just keeps building goodwill with your clients. Hey, Josie, welcome. Let us know what part of the country you're from. Thanks for saying hi. So let's see. So referrals are typically given because you've asked. Recommendations happen because you delivered. So that's the big thing to remember here. Hey, Billy, welcome. Oh, Jose, Kentucky, awesome. What type of work do you do? So that's the big thing is that clients will recommend you on their own. They refer you because they feel like they've been pressured often, not all the time, but often. So it's a good thing to try to find some moments during the remodeling project where you really educate the homeowner. Very cool. All right. Well, welcome aboard. So we're just talking about remodeling, and if you're in the remodeling industry or you know someone, there's a big challenge. So it's real hard for remodelers to land projects, and once you land them, you want to be do a really good job with the homeowner so that they would recommend you to other people, right? There's a process because you want them to brag about you and how well the service was. Because the reality is, it's really hard to find a reliable, reputable, professional contractor, and homeowners struggle for that. So once you've been able to do a really good job for someone, ideally, yeah, you need someone to recommend. Yep. And that's what we're looking for to build up out of this process. So we have people over the years that, not every client, but many clients, they were amazed at the process. They were so thankful because it's usually when someone's had a really poor experience, right? Hiring the cheaper person in the past and the whole project falling apart. And then when they deal with a company who just follows up, returns phone calls, gets the job done for the price that they wanted, then it's a very good experience, and they're very happy to brag about that. So, Josie, maybe you can relate to that. I don't know, but that's what ends up happening. And you want to have, as a remodeler, you want to create as many of those experiences as possible so that homeowners get excited about having you work for them. So it's a good idea to try to get some photos and constantly educate the homeowner and show them the process that you do, how you do it, why you're doing it, and be on their side. Let them know how you're solving their problems, right? Why you're doing it the way that you do it. And that's the process. So that's kind of like a high level approach. We've been building on this over the last couple of weeks, just talking about the importance of focusing on solving the problem for the homeowner and having it to be a good experience, because most homeowners live in neighborhoods and then they have other friends, and whatever problem they're having, usually their friends are having the same problem. So it becomes a big circle, right? And if you can solve the problem for one person in the neighborhood, likely then you want to be the recommendation to solve the problem for the other people in the neighborhoods. So, yeah. OPA Dave, welcome. Let us know where you're from if you're new. Welcome. North Cal. Awesome. And quite a few guys come in from your neck of the woods on these lives. We had several people San Diego, several people from, well, like Oregon. So, yeah, a lot of West Coasters jump in on these lives. So, welcome. What are you, Sammy? Welcome. What kind of work do you guys do? Are you special? Are you in the trade? Do you have a specialty? Like, are you design build? Do you do kitchens, fencing? Welcome, Harold. And are you guys experiencing getting a lot of homeowners recommending you to their friends, families, coworkers? Have any of you guys tried doing like little celebration parties when the job's over for the homeowners? I don't know. What do you guys do so that the homeowner is willing to help spread the good news about how well um, their remodeling project went because they hired you guys? So that's what we've been talking about the last few days on here. Because, like I said, for a lot of you guys, and I know what it's like for me to land, it takes a lot of work to land a project with a new homeowner, someone you've never worked with before. And once you've made that connection, usually most likely the homeowner is typically hiring you because part of them likes you. Yes, you have to be able to solve their problem, but people generally hire people that they at least feel comfortable around. So there's something that you did that's like, yeah, we kind of like this guy. You know, we'd like to work with that company. The salesman's nice, the owner's cool, whatever. So it lend itself naturally if you can foster that relationship to where they should be like, these guys are amazing. I should tell my friends, my coworkers, my neighbors if they're having a problem. Because what ends up happening is your customer, you can help them become an authority in the neighborhood. And it's nice. People like to be able to say, hey, we've had a really good experience because most of their neighbors have had crap experiences when they've hired contractors. It's amazing. We get calls all the time from someone who's like, listen, we've had a really poor experience previously, and we're looking to do that differently this time. So, welcome, Sheila. So that's been our experience. And typically, once you get into a good network, when someone starts recommending you, what's nice about that is the homeowner that's recommend you is typically going to have friends of their caliber. Um, and typically similar socioeconomic background. So if you want to be working with a client in a certain demographic, once you land a couple of those jobs, they should be recommending you to their friends, and generally their friends are going to fall into similar demographics, right? So if you're in a demographic that you're not finding profitable, like the clients are always asking you to come down on the price, maybe you want to move into a different demographic. Once you get in a couple clients in there, you really want to see how you can get into their network. So they're recommending you to their friends, and that makes life a lot easier as well. So that's the concept. If anybody has any questions, otherwise, tonight might just be a short one. No big deal. Hey, just Tim, welcome. Let me know if you have any questions in particular about remodeling. No worries. Basically, what I do is I come on live every day. Tonight's a little bit later than usual. We had a lot going on here, and I'll discuss something about remodeling for about 12 minutes, and then there's open discussion. So some nights are more crowded than others. Just depends on what people are up to. Tonight's probably for a little bit late for the remodeler crowd tonight, but Dixie, welcome. Let me know what part of the country you're from. If you're in the remodeling trade or industry. So, if any of you guys follow the account, welcome. If you guys have any requests for videos, please share that. Any topics you think would be helpful, LA, welcome. So always looking for some new recommendations on what kind of, what people are struggling with. And most guys I talk with and guys that are in my group that we do strategy for, a lot of it is finding clients and being able to get paid. So that's typically what we find are the issues. When I say get paid, getting paid a profitable price. There's always work out there, but landing it at a price that works for you is challenging. I say welcome. Let me know where you're from and what kind of work you do. But this remodeling game doesn't have to be as challenging as some people I think make it. I have found that there's a couple of things that you can start implementing that makes it a lot easier. And sometimes it's just changing up what neighborhood you're working in. Really, it could be a whole different dynamic when you start getting around good clients, right? The client who doesn't want to have to do it themselves and they are happy to pay someone to come in and do it. All right. Well, I appreciate you guys popping in. If anybody has any questions, welcome. All right. That's the end of the content for tonight. Thanks for being here, and we'll catch you on the next one.